See what he told me. What he told me when I first started sending all this shit to him, and we did some follow-up calls. He said, "Kurt, I don't even know where to begin. You're sending us so much information. This thing's so deep and convoluted. I don't know what to do with it." That's his answer. It's like he doesn't even know how to decipher this. Hold it. I realize it's very complex, but realize it's not just a man running around screaming his government's going nuts. It's the truth if you look at the other facts he's pointing to, like Georgia Guidestones, where Illuminati planned to genocide 7.7+ billion people. I mean, the stuff I pointed you to, you've looked at, or CERN, the mind control project, or HARP, controlling the weather. And now you're seeing it come out on the news, stuff I've been telling you for years. And that would lend a lot of credibility because now it's not just me calling, it's concerned family members. And if we have to, give the news desk to everybody who believes my story and have everybody call CNN and talk to this asshole until he finally does the goddamn story and stops sitting on it. And we'll do the same with the Today Show, NBC, if we have to. I've got all the top producers' names right at the fucking news desk at every news agency on the fucking planet. What do you think I've been doing all my life? I could get you to CBS, Good Morning, Today Show, Fox. Any show that'll pick this up is going to make a fucking lot of money for breaking the story. Because this is going to have extremely high viewership with the real... Huh?
But when you look through all the... When you look through all this stuff, it just doesn't... I can't decipher it. I can't figure out what comes before what.
Then that's where you have to... Hello. Susan, here's how you decipher it. You don't look at the date it's published. You go in and look at the geotags, the date and location of where it was shot. That's where everybody's missing the geotags.
I'll have to look for those.
And tell him that, listen, please, and tell him to do the same at CNN. That's how they can decipher this puzzle. If they look at the geotags, the things that I had locked into the video, when is the date it was shot and the exact location, it'll pinpoint on a map for you where it was shot and the date it was shot and the time it was shot and the time of day it was shot if you look at the geotags that I buried in all videos. I did that on purpose. So I put it up as a jigsaw puzzle so anybody looking at it could just think it's a madman. But anybody who wanted to decipher it could get the puzzle put together, like the FBI. So this way I wasn't breaching national security because it looked like a jigsaw puzzle from a madman. So no one would take it serious. So I wasn't breaching security. I know how to put shit up in code for the FBI and the CIA. They know how to decipher this shit. You guys don't. Now I'm telling you the key code, how to decipher Kurt's videos. They're all geotagged. Time, location, date of shoot. Doesn't matter when and where it published or republished. It's when it was shot. That's the order of the story. The exact order. It's the precise time points. Where in the world was it shot? Was it really shot in Texas or was it shot on a set in New York? It'll tell you precisely where it was shot. Was it shot at the federal building or was Kurt faking a set? And that's how it'll lend complete credibility to CNN. And you can even say to him, and if you want complete credibility, you want to know how to decipher this puzzle, here's the key code he gave me for you guys to use and for me to use how to decipher the puzzle. Look at the geotags. When was it shot? What exact precise location, date, and time. Not when it published. Not when it's labeled. Not what it says as a time date. Forget what the clouds are putting up. Look at the geotags. I'm putting stuff up, and tell them, I'm putting stuff up out of order and out of sequence so any terrorist would have to spend a long time to figure it out because unless they knew I geotag everything, they wouldn't know how to pinpoint me. And it's so I stay alive. It's so the U.S. government, and you can tell them, it's how Kurt stays alive and how he stays ahead of everybody because he publishes his life as a jigsaw so it doesn't give a pattern they can decipher. He doesn't want a pattern so he can get killed. How do you think I've stayed alive this long knowing this much information? In the spy world, you have to think and live like a spy. And tell them that. This is what I'm trained to do to stay alive on foreign missions for the last fucking 5 decades. I've been doing this shit since I was in my teens. My first mission was with the CIA when I was fucking 19. Fucking assholes. Of course, my first encounter with the FBI was when I was in 6th grade. So what the fuck?
In 6th grade?
Yeah, because they took away all my phone gear because I knew how to hack the Library of Congress and rewrite federal code. And
Oh my goodness.
I was rewriting the law because my mom said I had to be a 6th grade education, and it did. And so they came and took all my shit away again. I've been being terrorized by my government since I was a kid. And I'm tired of it. I don't want to be terrorized anymore by anybody. I just want to have a normal life once in my life. One normal day. Where I don't have to look over his shoulder to make sure someone's not trying to kill me again. Or hurt me or steal from me or rob.
If you came back to where your stuff is in Michigan, where Bill's at with that, they would still find you?
There is no stuff left in Michigan. There's no stuff left anywhere except in one place here, and if I don't come up with $1,000 by the 9th, it's gone anyway. Millions of dollars of assets, thanks to my fucked up government that they wanted to vanish. It hasn't vanished, other people haven't. It's too valuable to vanish, it's just taken from me again. There's so much hidden code and stuff I've written in. So much technology stuff that's in those computers. It's just frightening what's out there right now. That
they took all your computers.
But the good news for me is he who wrote the code always leaves a backdoor key, so it doesn't matter where they put this shit, I'll find it. But what's fucked up is they took it again. My government took this shit from me again intentionally, like they did in 99, like they did. I can go through so many years of my life where my government has bankrupted me or had me put in jail for stupid shit so they can turn my life upside down, go into my houses, my offices, my labs, and steal shit for my entire life. My entire life.
Well, that doesn't sound very fun. That sounds horrible.
I feel sodomized by my country for my entire life. But you've never seen me wear that on my sleeve in any television or film or radio appearance or anything. I've never let the world know that I'm being sodomized by my government. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. I wear it deep in my chest and it's ripped apart. I feel so raw right now. There are some days I just wish God would take me to the next level because I'm done here. I'm so done being abused by sheeple. If I could do this concert for world peace alive and do Woodstock and make enough money to get off the planet, you guys can blow it up or do whatever the fuck you want with it. Have at it, but I'm just done. And if you don't want the concert, then fine, I can quit now and just go. I can leave. Because I don't need to stay here and keep getting my ass kicked. It's too painful. I'm done with this universe. This is my last go around here. I've done this too many times, man. This is extinction number 6. I am not doing 7. Fuck you. My deal was 6, and I'm done. I'm not doing 7. If you guys can't sort it out this time, you won't ever sort it out. You're going to blow yourself into fucking oblivion. You'll make this the dark hole. The sun will go out, and the thing in the Hubble telescope, they keep saying, is larger, larger, larger. Dark hole will be, you saw your future. Infinity to infinity is all parallel. You can see the future if you can look deeply. Nobody seems to be able to look past their fucking nose these days. Everybody's so self-centered, so ego-driven, so self-entitled, full of shit. That's why I've given up on humanity. Most people don't even give a shit. Somebody else will figure it out. That's what they're for. Oh yeah, there's always corruption in politics. Yeah, well, there's always, conspiracy theorists, or nut jobs. You know what? Go fuck yourself. If you had my amount of debrief and classification around the planet, you'd be screaming too if you had a fucking moral clause in your body. Oh, I'm so tired of self-righteous people who think they know how to judge me. They haven't even walked 1,000,000 miles in my shoes, let alone 10 million. And how many millions of miles have I walked when I'm averaging 25 to 50 miles a day? On foot alone, not including airplanes, trains, automobiles, spaceships, or however else I travel. Shit, I could travel 1,000,000 miles in a year and not blink. I've traveled more than 1,000,000 miles in a year. And that's not bragging, it's just stating facts. While you've traveled, Susan, I have traveled literally around the world, and sometimes multiple times in a year have traveled around the world to foreign countries on diplomatic missions or foreign assignments, or my own money to document shit that I knew was needed to be followed up on that they wanted to shut up. There are very few continents I haven't been on. There are very few places I haven't been. And there are some places I've been that I really will never probably talk about even. And there's other places. Never mind. Anyway, do you understand why it may have significance for you to lend credibility and help decipher the story for everyone? Plus, it brings in, the childhood you've known, because it'll come out. How long have you known him? Has he ever had moments of insanity? Has he ever been committed for insanity? And some people are going to ask you a lot of questions if you put yourself in front of this trait. But on the other hand, it also gives you another side job, because if it books enough, you'll be paid to do these television appearances. And it's the truth. You wouldn't be telling lies. I'm just asking you to step forward and tell the truth. Wave a white flag that says, hey, world, enough. Stop fucking with me and my family. Let's have a life again. And by the way, there's some shit we should all get together and fix in the meantime. Some stuff that's new information even to me. It's a chance for you to grandstand about, hey, in spite of all this, I've watched them beat throat cancer under all this stress, thanks to us government, by using cannabis and getting us synthetics. That's true. I'm not lying about that. As he's smoking a fucking cigarette on camera, sadly. At some point, I got to stop these cigarettes. But I'm stressed. You'd be smoking again, too, if you had the government to sieve up your ass. I mean, could you ever imagine that when we were kids playing Tonka trucks or Barbie dolls or Operation, that I would be in the middle of some of the biggest spy shit on the fucking planet?
No.
If I did, I shouldn't have had that. Actually, sadly, I was... What? What?
I said, should have planned that better, huh?
Well, what I said is, sadly, I saw this shit as a child, and I had no idea how to avert this part of my life. I saw this shit. I saw this whole tangled web and where I'm at right now, today, as a child. Just like I saw, I think I told you the time I had the dream, I woke up screaming about my dad running somebody over. Did I ever tell you that?
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that.
And some other stories where I saw shit in the future and then it really happened. It was kind of like, whoa! Well, I saw this too. But to tell you this 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it probably wouldn't have made a lot of sense then, would it?
Probably not.
Because a lot of it hadn't happened yet. So I would have been telling you stuff in the future. I saw this is going to happen, that's going to... Maybe I should have told you all this. But I thought it might freak you out a little. And at that point, you probably would have said, yeah, he went through a nutty period. But even later, I found out it wasn't nutty. It just seemed really nutty at the time. Because I'm sure some of the stuff, when you were first hearing it about they want to kill and all this other shit, sounded pretty insane, didn't it? Several years ago.
Oh, yeah, it did.
To the point you stopped talking to me again.
Huh?
I said, to the point you and everybody else on the planet stopped talking to me. And I do mean everyone else on the planet, even people in the industry, stopped talking to me. Thanks to Melissa, everybody in entertainment pulled back. She called everyone.
Yeah, Melissa was, yeah.
And see, you can even tell them about Illuminati people like Melissa who have helped turn my life upside down. I haven't even told them that part of the story. So there's lots of pieces of the puzzle you can fill in how I got to this moment of neurosis that isn't neurosis at all. He's had people up his ass trying to turn him sideways, enjoy, shut up, cover up this stuff for years, decades. And he's been protesting and saying no. And because he protested too much, they've turned his life completely into the shithole. Here's a guy who went from owning companies worth billions of dollars, literally. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, just from what when we were cleaning out your mom's stuff.
Yeah, and you can even say, I saw that some of the assets, even after bankruptcy, there was all kinds of antiques and other shit. I mean, I literally was worth billions, and my second marriage cost me a $4 to $6 million company, and that's documented. They could go research that in federal court in Woodland Hills, California. All my divorces, and you can tell him, his divorces are a matter of public record. They all ended up in federal court because he was married so high. Like my first marriage was into the White House. Did you know that?
No.
I was married to one of the Bakers, Howard Baker, Edward Baker, James Baker. You know those people?
No.
Senator Howard Baker, who became the chief of staff of the White House, and James Baker, who became Secretary of State, and Edward Baker, who is the head of the FDA. That was my father-in-law.
Oh.
During the Reagan and Bush administrations, my father-in-law served under Nixon, Ford, Reagan, Bush, and Bush before he died. And had CIA sharpshooters at the fucking wedding to make sure I married his daughter. Told me in front of my attorney, Larry Korn, and my best man, Mike Allison, that when I stepped outside to smoke a cigarette before we got married, that if I didn't marry his daughter, the CIA is sharp. Did I remember Kennedy? And I said, what, my cousin, the president? He said, yeah. Remember what happened to him? Yep. It was right here in Dallas. If you try and leave this before you marry my wife, your brother and and you kind of stutter a little, your brother and your mother, and you will be shot by my CIA sharpshooters. You will not embarrass me or my family. Today is my birthday, and you are marrying my daughter on my birthday in Dallas, Texas area, in Colleyville, and I'll have your ass capped. And I said, Ed, settle the fuck down. I'm stepping out to have a cigarette. That really happened that way, that cold. I had to marry his daughter. He was going to have me killed because they wanted high-level Democrats. I was married before Kennedy married Schwarzenegger because I was used as an example because I was related to the Kennedys, and my mother helped Kid Carter and Kennedy and all those other people elected, and she was the chairman of the Democratic Party, and I was the news kid who had been doing news, reporting news for ABC since I was 10 and well known in television and film and radio, the radio guy, and a producer and up and coming and knew everybody in the record industry. So we had some record labels there. We had some broadcasts there. My own bosses at ABC protested the wedding. They said, you should not marry her. She's a fucking cunt. She'll take your heart. And they were right. But I had no choice because I had a bullet if I didn't. And my second marriage was into high-level DOD, Lockheed Martin area, crypto read and burn. My father-in-law ran the Chinese and Russian missile program, and to really fuck me to ensure I'd marry his daughter, one day when I was living with his daughter, came to my house, and when I was doing a lot of developing in the house in my lab there, and they had like 20 computers going and 17 assistants and shit, came in and said, I want to show you something, and showed me all the shit on DOD, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He said, I'm showing you what I do for a living. And I said, no, what you're doing is locking my IP so the government can see a backdoor into me, because every time somebody logs in, you lock that fucking IP address. And he said, exactly, yes. So now, anything you're doing, DOD gets to watch. That's how they were stealing stuff through my second marriage. They locked into my own network. And the third time and the fourth time they had the CIA come in, the same guy who is the foreign attaché to Russia for the White House. And when he was getting out of the CIA, had to spend an extra 5 years in the CIA where they were doing background due diligence on him because he was the guy that was going to the White House and getting a special thing to go to the Kremlin, putting it handcuffed onto him, and then would jump in the helicopter, and then he would go immediately to the Kremlin and then Gorbachev would unlock it, and he would read it, and then he would respond back and send stuff back to the White House through John Bazuski. But John also had a backdoor key and knew how to unlock it, so while he was in the jump seat, he was taking pictures of it, so he knew what the fuck he was delivering to both sides. How spooky is that? And I know that to be true because he's the one who personally told me that when he first came to work for me, that he had that kind of clearance and that kind of debriefing. And so I figured, fuck it, if he's that good a spy, he can work on my technology because we're headed in the same direction. He's the guy that developed face recognition that when you're in the DMV and they keep looking at you and they take the picture and they're looking back and forth. They're looking at every picture pulling up through the system through sieges of every known picture ever taken of you since childhood to make sure it's really you. Did you know that?
No, I did that.
Or the most recent pictures they can find on social media.
Is that what all that face recognition stuff is?
Oh, fuck yeah. So on cameras, it's reconstructing your face and assembling it with all matches ever found anywhere on the ASAP system, which is everywhere on police cars, on bus cars, those little nodes that are 360 video cameras getting all the audio and video everywhere they go. Did you know that all those little cameras are all linked into the Department of Justice?
Oh, wow, no, I didn't.
Even the cameras at 7-Eleven, they have access to if they want it. There's not a camera in any surveillance system that the Department of Justice wants to tap into. They have to provide it for national security. So any of these security companies people are hiring at home, the FBI is getting a look at your bathroom. You gave them permission. You hired the security system. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not.
Well, CNN doesn't either, but now they do if they watch these videos, because I've been videotaping this call of me even saying, why don't you call CNN? And when I put it up and the world sees that I'm asking you to call CNN and why I'm asking you to call, now, of course, anybody who watches this video will be able to decipher it. The question is, which news agency will decipher it the quickest? Because you can let them know, if they're not going to move on this, we're not going to sit on the story. We're going to move it around town. Somebody will pick this one up. It's too big to sit on. It's beyond the Jason Bourne 007 shit. It's the real spy world. It's the real fucking deal. An inside look that no one's ever had. Who else has had the balls to tape their spy experience and put it up on video? I don't know anybody. Even Snowden didn't do that, did he?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know about Snowden, the guy who blew the whistle on NSA spying on everybody who moved to Russia or somewhere else in the world, and they've done HBO specials on him? Richard Snowden?
No, I don't.
Well, that's actually good, because that means you're not in the spy world, you don't know much about it. But if you research Snowden, S-N-O-W-D-E-N, I think it is, he's the guy who blew the whistle on NSA spying on everybody and had to get out of the country and has not been in the country in years because he's living in exile. Or Julian Assange, who did WikiLeaks. Do you know about that? Do you know about WikiLeaks?
No, I've heard it, but I didn't know. I don't know.
Okay, if you go on
I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Suze?
Yeah.
If you go on Wiki, W-I-K-K-I, I think it is leaks, L-E-A-K-S. It's at .com or .go. Just Google that term and see what comes up. If you go on that, you can see CIA breaches, FBI breaches. It's real. Russian hack information. And I haven't run myself in, I don't know, probably 18 months. But when somebody ran me 18 months ago, there were 3,000 to 5,000 leaks associated with me alone. I'm sorry, what?
On WikiLeaks?
Yeah. That the World Spy Organization was crediting me with leaking. I don't know if they were all leaks from me because I didn't have time to go research 3,500 and 5,000 leaks. I don't know if they're all really me. Some of them that I did research were me, yeah. Like Plantex, that plant down in Amarillo, Texas. I think I've told you about. Yes, no, maybe. Are you there?
Maybe. I don't.
You don't remember me telling you about this plant in Amarillo, Texas that makes all the missiles and germ and chemical warfare for any country on the planet?
Is that why you were in Amarillo?
let's do one thing at a time. Do you remember that, yes or no?
No.
Okay,
Yes. Now that I think about it, yes, because you told me that.
Okay, you need to go look at Plan Tech or Amarillo, Texas. Plan. They are the biggest missile base in the world. I don't even think CNN knows about them. They make every type of germ and chemical warfare, biowarfare, germ warfare, Ebola, whatever you need, you can order it through this plant, and then we decide who gets it, and we sell it everywhere in the world. Bombs, missiles, what do you need? And they employ thousands of people. It's an underground missile facility that is 60 miles wide and 20 miles deep. On Google Earth, they look like corn silos in the middle of the city. They're bigger than the LA Coliseum that seats 100,000 people, and those are the main missile silos. There's missile silos all the way through the panhandle in a 60-mile radius of Amarillo, Texas, underneath the city, and the city doesn't have a 60-mile radius, so it goes into the desert areas even. And if you try to get anywhere near the main entrances of this, you have sharpshooters roll up in Humvees ready to cap your ass, and if you don't have the right reason for being there, they'll kill you on the spot because it says you're entering federal property, and you will be shot if you're trespassing. So if you're dumb enough to keep driving, you're risking your life.
Wow.
But there's actually footage of me up at the Plantex plant being on the base, which I guess I wasn't clear to be on at the time, doing live broadcast, and no one can figure out how I did that. You know how I did that?
How did you do that?
Remember that jumping thing I told you about?
Oh, yeah.
That's how you do something like that. Otherwise, you get caught and capped. Now, I don't know. CNN may ask you to explain that at some point. You don't have to if you don't want to. And there is video of you and I having that conversation, so it is explained. You can say, well, he actually explains that in one of the videos if they ask you. I'm not going to get into that whole explanation right now. It will diffuse what we're focused on, if you understand what I'm trying to accomplish. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense.
You know what it means. It's now a hidden code for somebody to decipher. And now do you see how I bury shit like that? Yes, no?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
I even bury hidden messages in videos that if you're smart about what I'm talking about, you realize, oh, that's code for something. See, I don't talk normally, even though it seems like I do. Does that make more sense to you now?
Yes.
That's because I just smoked another special kind while we were talking. It's called a Premium Roll 2020. Because when you're doing 2020 news with ABC, you have to be a knockout. It's called 2020 Knockout. And it's made by Team Charlie. And its THC level is 38%. Its CBD level, which is for pain, is 86%. And I only had a couple of puffs on this thing. One, not because it's really expensive, because you only need a couple of puffs and you're sailing. You're like crisscross. You're sailing. Do I not sound like I'm in a much better mood than I was when we started this call?
Oh, yeah.
And this is an Indica couch, by the way. I mean an Indica, I think. 2025. No, it's not. It's a hybrid. And by the way, if you go to this, you should write down. You can get a free phone. 2020finder.com. Free iPhone 10 if you sign up to win at 2020ifinder.com. That's probably going to be worth about $1,500, and if you get it for free, you can always resell it. Unless you want to keep an iPhone. Do you need an iPhone 10?
No, I don't like I anything.
Yeah, thank you. I wouldn't use it. I sure as fuck. I would sell it to somebody I want to know all their shit, and I'd bury a code in it so I can see their shit, because in an anything, I can see anything I want. That's why they call it I. Oh, and this is compliant under Prop 215 and Prop 3420, and it also has hash in it too. Oh, I love this knockout. You know what? if I really need to calm down, just tell me to go have a knockout. And then people will be going, okay, now she's talking in code. What does a knockout mean? He's going to go find a hot chick. He's going to go get laid. What is he doing for his knockout? He's going to have a Mai Tai? What's a knockout? See, we're going to have people starting to start to Google what could the knockout be.
There you go.
Because people who missed this film about what the knockout is, because if you look at it, I'm actually holding it up so you can see it back in Michigan. There's the THC levels, there's the complacency, and then there's that side. See? Oh, and I forgot to show you this one. This is the one that has this. You remember when I told you about the candescent that has all the different lines? So you have to zoom in on the video to read it or go to the website. But it's all packaged nicely, and it comes in 2 canisters like this. See? And that's why it costs more. But man, this stuff really can make a difference when I'm having a shitty day. So it's not that you're encouraging me to be a drug addict. It's encouraging you to encourage me if I forget to self-medicate once in a while to calm down. Have a calm 101.
Calm down, yeah.
Have a calm. Or maybe you sound too depressed. Maybe you should have a charge. But don't have too many one day.
We don't want you running around looking like a psycho wild person.
And now it's time for a knockout. You know, at some point, if you get to know these and try them, you could even become an expert and start making recommendations. Hell, you could get a holistic cure license, and now your next line of work, you can decide your hours because you'll be making so much fucking bank. Yeah, I'm only working a couple hours, so many days, and $1,000. I can help you get your health back by getting on the right diet of cannabis and other edibles. And who knows, maybe you'll start your own, maybe you'll start getting in so much you'll start making your own butters and your own, and then you'll have Susan's line of cannabis edibles. How's that sound?
There you go.
Here's Aunt Sue's recipes. Dear Aunt Sue. You could even have like Smucker commercials. In the old days, Dear Aunt Sue used to make porridge this way. Now with cannabis. And today on the show with Aunt Sue, we'll learn how to make cannabis blueberry muffins.
There you go.
They are bobalicious. And now Sue's got to go. She's off to the kitchen.
I do have to go because I got a funeral at 2 o'clock.
Who died?
I have to go get in the shower.
Who died?
One of my friend's mother.
Somebody you really like or somebody you don't like? All right. Well, if you're not sure, here's my thought.
No, my son Randy grew up with it's his grandma.
Okay, but here's how, you don't even have to answer this. Here's how I look at funerals. If it's somebody I really liked, I'm going to come in all squeaky clean, try to be there ahead of time and speak to family members, whatever. If it's somebody moderate, yeah, I'll get there when I get there. And if it's somebody I really am kind of pissed at, I'll show up kind of stanky and, because they're dead, maybe they'll think it's a dead person. I don't know. I may not show up on time, and I could show up cranky and let people know what an asshole I thought he was. I don't know. But that's me. You probably are much more kind, and even if they were the worst prick in the world, you show up with rings on your fingers and bells on your toes and going, I'm so sorry for your loss, correct?
Correct.
Me, I'd show up and say, what a motherfucker this cocksucker was. I'm glad he's dead. I wouldn't lie about it. That's just me. I can't lie about shit. See, that's how guilty my mom made me. Even in death, I can't lie. If somebody was an asshole, they're still an asshole. They didn't get better just because they died. They may have done the world a favor by dying.
That's really nice.
Okay, well, in that case, see, you've answered the question. But what if you had to go to the funeral of someone who was really an asshole? Would you be nice at that funeral?
I probably wouldn't go.
So you just protest by not show. See, I would protest by going and showing and let everybody know. Still, even at his death, this asshole is an asshole because he owes me and he owes a lot of people. And if the family was to do the right thing instead of having the kids become entitled little fucking cunts like him, they should pay off all these debts. That's what I would do. I would step up to the plate and hit it out of the park.
I don't know people like that.
Oh, I do. Oh, I know a lot of them. Some of them are presidents, some of them are celebrities. I could go down a long fucking list. I know people who owe me personally hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, write the list down so I can collect, okay?
Ask Bill. He's got it. Bill knows the list. I'm not even joking. Bill knows who our debtors are. Shit, Bill's owed probably $500,000 himself right now at this point, if not $1 million. So if money is made out of my estate, Bill should get the first $1 million. And I'm not even joking. He's owed at least $1 million. He won't ever claim it. He'll let everybody else take it first, but I think he should get it back. That is my
Well,
wish.
who would take it?
Well, if he'd donate it to the charity in my name or to family, you know what? I don't know, because I've given him all life rights. But knowing Bill, he'd give it away to a registered charity in my name. I have no idea what Bill will do. I haven't asked him what he would do with it. I just told him to do something with it. Don't let it sit. He may just let it sit and let it go away because it's so much to deal with. He may just let it all get buried with me, honestly. So unless you breathe life into it, he'd let it die. Because it is very complex. Pardon?
Yeah, I talked to him once. He's not really a talker.
No, he doesn't ever want to be in the limelight on this. He doesn't want to ever be on camera. If no one ever knows all the wonderful things he's done for me, he doesn't care. It's not about the glory. And it's certainly not about all the politics. He never wanted to be part of the spy world at all. He's tolerated it. He's known about it. He's seen me through it. He knows that much more was real. I mean, he knows the shit I've gone through is real. Getting him to talk about it, that's going to be... I mean, I have him talking about it. If you look at the videos, I videotaped some of our calls. So there is video with him talking about it and saying, you're justified in this and that and the other. In fact, one of the calls with the FBI this week, I have videotape of me talking with Bill about it, going, what the fuck? And he said, even then, they're wasting your time and you're wasting your time, even trying to go see him. He called it out before it happened. He was spot on.
Yeah.
I was wasting my time. He said,
go find a hole and climb in it.
No, what he's been telling me for years is get your fucking film made and make millions and come back and bury these fuckers. Or go hide under a rock, but stop getting killed by these people. You're getting killed out here. Get the fuck into hiding deep. Get into hiding deep, or get this thing exploited and make millions and go back and fuck them like you should. Stop getting clobbered here. That's what he's been telling me for years.
You know what? I agree with him.
Well, then call him and let's get this show on the road. Let's go make some bank on this and fuck these assholes back and, have a good life for the rest of your life. Why not make a couple of million off my life story by selling your rights to your part of the story? You've seen me through some of this fucking nightmare. Some of it you ran away from with, he's gone crazy. That really happened. You did. You vanished for a year or two again. Not because of me, because of shit my government was putting me through that you thought I was nuts about. That you're now realizing, oh no.
One minute I'm talking to you and everything is fine, the next minute it's like crazy.
It was never fine. I just kept you sheltered from it. Because that's what I was supposed to do. It's called national security. You don't talk to even your wife about it. Jen didn't know about this stuff. Karen didn't know about most of this stuff. Leah, nobody I've been in as a bed partner has known how deep this shit has been. I couldn't let them know. You don't let your partner know when it's a matter of national security. It's a breach of security. Don't you know that? So I didn't have a choice. Otherwise, I'd be committing treason. So I couldn't talk about all this shit for years. It's recently that I've started leaking this shit. I leaked the shit about stopping the war in Central America for 4 days years ago because that wasn't a breach of security. It was a factual, documented part of history. And then I was sent there on a CIA mission. I started to leak that because I got clearance to leak it. It was my true life story, and I didn't give up anybody's name of who in the CIA I worked with, did I? Have I ever mentioned it?
No.
But of the crooked people recently, I've given up John Mazuski from the CIA and had much more of the FBI, and I can go down a long fucking list now because they're all committing treason, and they're in on it. And under that statute, I can blow the whistle. They don't want me to blow the whistle. They've been telling me to shut the fuck up or they'll make me look like an asshole. Guess who's winning? They got more money. You try and take on the fucking entire U.S. Black Ops and intelligence system. It's not an easy task. And to stay alive, that's fucking remarkable. I think I've done pretty fucking good so far, don't you?
I think so.
I mean, you try and hide from the CIA, the FBI, LAPD, county sheriffs, and everybody else who wants your head on a stick. There are some people pissed that I've put up corrupt undercover footage of crooked Santa Monica and LAPD. Guess who's pissed? Probably the motherfucking cops and their families and friends and the crooked people working with them. They're probably pretty fucking pissed, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised you are still alive.
That's what I'm trying to say. You need to impress the CNN. I'm shocked he's still alive, some of the shit I know he's gone through. Get him to wake the fuck up that this isn't some guy who needs to be on medication. I can't do it because I'm the guy that thinks needs some medication. And in fact, the world is going to need medication after they see some of the shit you've seen some of these videos. Haven't you seen some of them where I'm walking into a police station years ago and they're saying, get out of here, you're not going to file a report? Or have you never seen those videos?
I haven't seen those. Some of them are buried so deep I can't find them.
Oh, we can find those for you in CNN. If you get caught up in the story, if I put those out now, they'll be so out of sequence, you'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Well, let me get through the ones that are out there that I can find.
Okay, and do you want me to send you the contact at CNN and to type up an outline of what I think you should do to present it, or not?
Not right now. Let me read some more stuff and see if I can decipher it.
Oh my Christ, Jesus, Susan, this is time sensitive.
What?
I'm going to be dead while you think about it. I'm trying to stay alive. Okay.
I know, but didn't CNN already tell you no?
No, they said they don't know how to decipher it. And I said, unfortunately, I don't have the time to sit here and break it down for everybody. I said, you got to first figure out if you're interested, we can go from there. Why should I waste my time deciphering it for anybody who's not really going to act on it?
It's true, and I can tell you by feel.
And you can sit there and say, he gave me the puzzle, and watch this video. You can see how he explains it if you have any doubts. And you can reference videos. All you have to do is reference videos. And here on this video, and point to stuff. And, hey, I can send you the links. And then you can send them specific links. I don't have time to sit here and break it down and build the story for him. I'm the one trying to stay alive and keep moving so I don't die. I don't have time to sit here hours on end talking to people and helping them break it down. I'm exhausted. And whether they take it or you get it at NBC or Fox or MSN, there are places we can take this because I know the head of every news desk on the fucking planet. So we'll just start going down the list and see who's the highest, who wants to jump in the pool first. Because once it breaks, everybody's going to be blowing your phone up like the second coming of Christ. Anybody who said no is going to be calling you back. And then at that point, you can say yes, no, or hey, I want this for that.
I asked you first, and
you said no. So now, if I'm going to do this for you, here's what I also need and want from you. And then you can come up, whether it's healthcare issues, whatever, you can let them know what you'd like for, since they already kicked you to the curb for wasting your time. It's called The Art of Negotiation. Okay, I'll give this to you, but here's what you're going to give to me. Otherwise, go fuck yourself. At this point, we have so many chips to negotiate with film studios and television people, and if they don't want to fuck with it, I can always go self-fund this. It's not like I haven't done that before. And put it on myself and fuck everybody. And I'll make all the money on it. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm too tired to worry about the small points about who breaks the story anymore. If I have to blow it up myself on social media, it's not like I don't know how to do that.
That's true. You do know how to do that.
So I'm trying to give the networks the first opportunity because it's the least amount of work for me. If I got to take time to do the social media aspect, it means I really have to go into hiding immediately and get that shit set up like a motherfucker, and it puts me behind the 8 ball 4 to 6 months. I don't need to be behind 8 balls right now. That could get me killed. And it certainly will kill the Concert for World Peace. If I don't get this thing rolling in the next month or two, I'm pulling the plug on it. I'm not going to keep pushing rock uphill. Fuck the concert. Nobody else seems to give a shit about it, then fuck it, we're done. couldn't generate enough interest. It's not like I didn't fucking try. I quit. Somebody else want to do it? Have fun. Have at it. And have fun blowing the planet up. I'm just going to kick back and get high and watch you guys kill each other. Because you don't know how to survive what they have planned. I do. You don't. Anyway, you got to go to a funeral. I'm sorry for your loss, truly. And I don't mean to be insensitive, and I don't mean to be pushy, but, you know, when you're standing at the edge of the cliff most of your life, deciding should I jump off, swan dive, parasail, or just, you know, crash into the rocks below like the phoenix and rise again, I've always defaulted to phoenix.
Yeah, you have.
So if I got to crash and burn again, it's part of my destiny. Be blessed, my sister.
Hang in there.
With what? With what? With what? What am I hanging with?
I don't know.
Could you send me some hangers? Send me some hangers.
I will. They'll say life on them.
No, they should say here. No, they should say here's your new address. Move in immediately. Even if you have to put me in a home somewhere far away. Like a mansion in a Swiss villa. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, there's where you should put it.
Somewhere I can visit you.
Well, you can visit me at a mansion in a Swiss villa. We'd allow you to come. You can land on the private helo
maybe
pad.
once every 5 years.
No, you can land in a private airport. Private charter.
Okay.
Yeah. Bring family members that are pre-approved.